everyone, it's Peter here. Peter Dinklage. Yeah, that guy from Game of Thrones, or maybe you know me from the Stillhold Agent, or Elf, or whatever. But today, I'm not here to talk about roles or red carpets or any of that Hollywood gloss. No, I'm sitting here in my living room, just me and this camera, because I've got something I've been carrying around for a long damn time. Something I haven't shared publicly before. Hell, I haven't even told most of my closest friends the full story, but I think it's time. I think maybe putting it out there will help someone else who's got their own ghost whispering in their ear. The title of this video, The Insult That Haunted Me for Years Until I Turned It into Power. Sounds dramatic, right? Some self-help TED talk. But trust me, it's not. This is raw. This is me peeling back the layers, showing you the scar tissue that's been there since I was a kid. And yeah, it's about my height, my dwarfism, because let's face it, that's the elephant in the room or the short guy in the room, whatever you want to call it. But it's deeper than that. It's about dreams getting crushed under someone's careless boot and how you either let that bury you or you dig your way out with your bare hands. Let me take you back. I was 17, senior year of high school in Morristown, New Jersey. Picture this, a scrawny kid with a big head of hair, already standing at 4'5", which I knew wasn't changing. I'd always been the smallest in class, the one who got the stares, the whispers. But acting, that was my escape. I'd been in school plays since middle school, nothing big, just community theater stuff, but it lit a fire in me. On stage, I wasn't the kid with a chondroplasia, I was whoever I wanted to be, a king, a villain, a lover. Didn't matter when the words were flowing. My drama teacher, Mr. Harlan, I'll never forget his name. He was this tall, lanky guy with a voice like gravel, always pacing the auditorium like he owned the place. He was tough, but I respected him. He cast me in a few roles, nothing lead, but enough to make me think I had a shot. One day after rehearsal for our town, I was playing the stage manager, which felt huge to me. He pulls me aside. The auditorium's emptying out, lights buzzing overhead, that echoey silence you get in empty theaters. He looks down at me, literally down, and says, "Peter, listen, kid, you got talent, real spark. But let's be realistic here, Hollywood, Broadway. They're not made for people like you. You're short. Directors want leading men who tower, who command the space. You'll end up playing elves or clowns or some sideshow freak. Save yourself the heartache. Go into radio or writing, something behind the scenes. Boom! Just like that. His words hit me like a sucker punch to the gut. I remember standing there, my script clutched in my hands, feeling the paper crumple under my fingers. People like you. What the hell did that mean? Like I was some category, some defect. I mumbled something like, "Okay, thanks," and walked out. But inside, it was like he lit a fuse to a bomb I didn't know was there. I got home, locked myself in my room, and just stared at the ceiling. My parents, God bless them, they'd always encouraged me, told me I could do anything. But now this voice, this authority figure was echoing in my head. People like you! It wasn't just an insult, it was a verdict, a life sentence. I didn't tell anyone. Not my mom, not my dad, not my brother. Why? Because saying it out loud would make it real. Instead, I buried it deep, like shoving it into a box in the back of my mind and piling junk on top so I wouldn't have to look at it. High school ended. I went to Bennington College in Vermont. Great theater program, artsy vibe. I threw myself into classes, rehearsals, late night discussions about Brecht and Ibsen. But that insult, it was always there, whispering. Every time I auditioned for a role and didn't get it, I'd think, see? Mr. Harlan was right. Every time I saw a tall, chiseled actor land the part, it twisted the knife a little deeper. College was supposed to be liberating, right? For me, it was a battlefield. I'd wake up some mornings, look in the mirror, and hate what I saw. Not just the height, the whole package. Freak, he'd said or implied it. And yeah, there were dark moments, real dark. Nights where I'd sit alone in my dorm, bottle of cheap whiskey in hand, wondering if it was all worth it. Why fight for a dream that the world seemed hell-bent on denying me? I almost quit acting my sophomore year. I remember calling home, telling my parents I was switching to English lit or something. Say, my mom, sharp as a tack, she sensed something was off. Peter, what's really going on? She asked. I couldn't say it. The words stuck in my throat like broken glass. So I stayed silent, pushed through. But the doubt, it was my constant companion, like a shadow that grew longer in the evenings. After college, I moved to New York, the big city where dreams go to die or explode, depending on your luck. I pounded the pavement, auditions, callbacks, rejections, so many rejections. I get these pitying looks from casting directors. You're talented, but we need someone who fits the vision. Fits the vision. Code for tall enough. That old insult from Mr. Harlan. It wasn't buried anymore. It was alive, gnawing at me. I'd land small gigs off Broadway stuff, bit parts in indie films, but nothing that screamed success. There were times I'd crash on friends' couches, scraping by with temp jobs, data entry or whatever, just to pay rent. And in those quiet moments, alone in some dingy apartment, the self-doubt would flood in. You're never gonna make it. People like you don't. I'd replay that conversation in my head over and over like a bad loop. It shaped everything. How I walked into rooms, how I spoke up or didn't. I started second-guessing my choices. Maybe I should dye my hair, bulk up, try to look more normal. Ridiculous, right? But pain makes you do stupid things. And yeah, there were darker spirals. I don't talk about this much, but there were nights where the bottle wasn't enough. I'd think about ending it all. Not seriously, not with a plan, but the thoughts crept in. What's the point? I'd ask myself. If the world's gonna see you as a joke, why not just bow out? It's scary to admit that now, looking back. But that's the power of words, man. They can wound deeper than any knife. They fester. I remember reading Nietzsche around that time. Thus spoke Zarathustra. That whole what doesn't kill you makes you stronger bit. At first it pissed me off. Easy for him to say, right? He wasn't staring down a lifetime of being typecast as the dwarf, but something stuck out of life's school of war. What does not destroy me makes me stronger. I'd mutter it to myself on the subway, heading to another audition. It was like a mantra, but one I didn't fully believe yet. Theater saved me, in a way. I got involved with this experimental group in the East Village. Raw, gritty stuff. Oh, no sets, just words and emotion. We did a production of Richard III, Shakespeare's Hunchback King, scheming his way to the throne. I played Richard. Now is the winter of our discontent. I deliver those lines, feeling every twisted bone in my body mirror his. But it wasn't just acting, it was catharsis. Richard turns his deformity into a weapon, right? Says, since I cannot prove a lover, I am determined to prove a villain. For the first time, I saw my dogs, not as a curse, but as a tool, a edge. That insult from Mr. Harlan, it started shifting. Not gone, but But the struggle didn't end there. Oh no. Years of grinding, 90s into the 2000s. I did. Living in Oblivion, that indie flick where I played the dwarf actor ranting about stereotypes. Meta as hell. People laugh. But for me, pouring out the frustration on screen. Still, the doubt lingered. I'd get close to big breaks. Then, nada. Friends would say, hang in there, Pete. But inside, I was screaming. Silence on the outside. Storm on the... I remember a particularly bad stretch. Maybe 2001 or so. Audition after audition. Rejection piling up. I holed up in my apartment for days, reading Camus' The Myth of Sisyphus, that absurd boulder-pushing metaphor. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Yeah, right. But it made me think, what if the struggle is the point? What if pushing that rock day after day is what builds the muscle? Then came the turning point. It wasn't overnight, it was gradual, like dawn creeping in. I landed, the station agent in 2003. Finbar McBride did this reclusive train enthusiast living in an abandoned depot. No pity, no stereotypes, just a man dealing with loss and connection. The script didn't make a big deal about my height, it was just me. And something clicked during filming. We were shooting in Newfoundland, New Jersey, cold, isolated, mirroring the character. One night, after a long day, I sat by the tracks, staring at the stars. That old insult bubbled up. People like you. Yeah, watch me. It was like flipping a switch. The pain didn't vanish, but it transformed. Fuel, rocket fuel. From there, things snowballed. Death at a funeral. Elf, yeah, that angry elf scene was gold, turning the stereotype on its head. Oh, but the real triumph? Game of Thrones? Tyrion Lannister? Holy shit! When I read those scripts, George R.R. Martin's words leaped off the page. Tyrion's not just a dwarf, he's a wit, a strategist, a survivor. A mind needs books as a sword needs a whetstone, he says. That role let me channel everything. The hurt, the doubt, the fire. Emmy wins global fame. But more than that, it was vindication. Not for Mr. Holland, but for that 17-year-old kid who almost believed the lie. Looking back, that insult, it haunted me, sure. Shaped my insecurities, pushed me to the brink. But it also forged me. Act in theater, where the best performances come from real pain. Or philosophy. Aristotle's catharsis. Purging through pity and fear. I purged mine on stage, on screen. And literature? Hell, Victor Hugo's Hunchback of Notre Dame. Quasimodo, deformed and outcast, but with a heart that roars. Why was I not made of stone like Dingy? He asked the gargoyle. I felt that, but Quasimodo finds purpose in his bell tower. I found mine in the spotlight. And now, I'm not saying it's all sunshine. Doubts still creep in, but I've learned to harness them. That comment meant to clip my wings. It gave me the push to soar. So, if you're out there carrying your own insult words that cut deep, making you question your worth, listen up. Don't bury it. Face it. Let it burn. Then use the flames to light your path. Sometimes, the words meant to destroy you become the very reason you rise. They don't define you, you redefine them. Turn that pain into power. Because in the end, it's not about the height of your stature, it's about the depth of your fight. Thanks for listening. If this hit home, drop a comment. Share your story. We're all in this together. Take care.